So today I'm doing how to clean a turtle tank just because I see a lot of people doing it improperly and sometimes it can actually harm the turtle. You'll need 3 things for this. A siphon. I know a lot of people don't typically use a siphon, but I promise it's a lifesaver and it makes life way easier. A bucket, obviously, to transfer the water in and out, and water conditioner. The first thing you want to do is you want to turn off the entire tank, especially if you have a heater running, just because once the heater gets above the water level, it can malfunction and it can shock the animals in your tank. The next thing we want to do is we want to get the light fixture off and place it just in a safe spot. Anything that you have on top of the tank obviously has to come off because we have to take the lid off. Once the lid comes off, I usually feed whatever animals I have in the tank just because I'm cleaning their tank out, so I might as well, feed them in the dirty water so that way I don't make the clean water dirty. This is what I feed my turtle. She's a 2-year-old Eastern musk turtle. And then the fish that I have in here, there's only a couple right now, but usually there's more. They get a sprinkling of the Fluval bug bites. Next thing I'll usually do is I'll grab the filter and I'll push it all the way down, just because you always want to have your filter media wet. That way the beneficial bacteria stays active. With the siphon, you just dunk it in there. And you need to release all the air out of it in order to get it to start running. There you go, it's running now. You can see it filling up the bucket. I typically only fill the bucket up until this much just because water is about 8 pounds per gallon and this is a 5-gallon bucket. I don't feel like lifting 50 pounds every single time I go to move the water. You have to go and all this is sand, but if you look you can see the debris getting kicked up. Of course, you always want to wash your hands after you're finished cleaning out the tank, just because especially reptiles do carry salmonella and it's very dangerous if you get infected with it. And then to stop it, you just pull it out of the water and finish it up. I usually leave the turtle in there unless I'm like doing a very drastic water change to where I go like down to here, because they actually do find it would stress them out more to take them out than it would to just do the water change with them in there. It's much easier and faster to use a siphon as well, because when you do have to do big water changes, it's more effective in getting the water out, whereas scooping it out with a cup or just dumping it out lowers the integrity of your tank. First off, if you are just dumping the water straight out, it lowers the integrity of your tank because it puts a lot of pressure on one specific wall, and there's a higher chance of the tank breaking prematurely. And then if you scoop it out, it just takes forever. You never ever ever want to use soap, like just normal Dawn dish soap or anything like that, on your aquariums, because if it stays in the water, it can poison the animals in the tank. With the filter, I see a whole lot of people just like take the filter, dump out all the media. The media is like the sponge that's in there, by the way. I see a lot of people take the media, like either straight up just throw it away or clean it with tap water. You never want to clean it with tap water because that just, like, it takes away the whole purpose of cleaning the sponge, because none of the beneficial bacteria will be left behind. You might as well just get a new sponge at that point. I've had the same sponge for 2 years with this same turtle, and I've never had issues with the water quality. What you want to do to clean it properly though is you just grab it. I know it's gross, it's turtle poop, like you get used to it eventually, and you take it in your already dirty tank water and you rinse it off just to get the big parts of media out, so that way it runs smoothly. Normally it's not this dirty, but I haven't cleaned it out in about a month, so it's like it has to be, doesn't have to be totally perfect, but this right here, that's good. You can keep reusing the sponge. I've used literally this exact same sponge for 2 years. Again, never ever had issues with the water quality. Put the sponge back like normal, back into the bottom of the filter. This isn't the best filter, but I don't exactly have $300 to be spending on a canister filter for 1 turtle and like 4 fish. So if I had a bigger tank or a bigger turtle, I'd definitely say that a canister filter is the way to go, just because they work wonders for these tanks. Turtles need a lot of filtration because they poop a lot, especially the kind of turtle I have. It's a musk turtle, so anytime she gets scared, she'll defecate, and that's typically why this tank is so dirty. Like if she hears a loud noise, it's over. Like she'll poop everywhere. I also wanted to add that this buildup right here is not dirt. That's calcium that builds up when the water lowers. Basically, like the residue from the water dries and turns white. That's calcium buildup, not dirt. This is where the water conditioner comes in. I use Aqueon, I don't know how to pronounce that, water conditioner. It's very concentrated, so you only need, what does it say, 5 milliliters, so 1 teaspoon per 10 gallons. This cup is dosed. It has a 30 milliliter sign and a 15 milliliter, so I just fill it up, putting back about 10 gallons of water. So I'll fill it up about a third, that maybe was a little too much, till the 15 milliliter sign. I don't even know if you guys can see that, hold on, 15 milliliter sign. And I'll just dose the whole tank before I even put the new water in, because sometimes if I do it after, I'll forget. And this way I know that I'm dosing it accurately. And if I end up putting in more than 10 gallons, then I'll put part of an extra dosage in. I will also add that I usually try to dump the water in on top of the basking area, just to try to disturb the water and the animals in there as little as possible, because they do get stressed out pretty easily. There's the tank filled. If I really wanted to, I could use a toothbrush to get this off. It comes off pretty easily. If I rub hard enough, it'll come off. but I don't really have the toothbrush that I usually use for that right now, so I'm not going to do it. And then I just try to move this stuff back to where it was. I can't fill the tank up completely because obviously she still needs to be able to bask. The plants are here mainly for the fish to hide in to get away from her because they are feeders, but try to make them last as long as possible because they're for enrichment. Gotta bring the filter back up so that way it'll work properly. And that's it. Once this water settles, it'll be nice and crystal clear. And this water change, I won't have to do another one for another 1 or 2 weeks, but that next one can be much smaller because I did such a big one today. Also, now that the tank is running, I can show you this. You want to have your filter, especially if it's one of these like waterfall type ones, in a spot where the water circulates properly. So if you look, you can see the water gets pushed through here. You can see the debris floating around. And it comes down and gets sucked up by the filter. So there's a nice flow, making sure that everything is moving properly.